Hello and welcome to Tell Me RUNE, or Tell Me Are You Not Entertained? We're here. My name is Andrew.
And I'm Leilani.
And this week is freestyle. Let's just freestyle it up. Like, we're like Michael Phelps on the Olympic team, freestyling it all the way down. I was a swimmer in high school, okay? So, I'm just saying, whatever. So this is a freestyle. We don't really have a whole lot of, like, real subjects to go on, so we're just going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Right?
Yeah, but even starting this, I have no idea what to talk about. This is how bad this week's going to be.
It's going to be so good. This might be the shortest episode we will ever do. I guess we'll just start out just to get a little quick stuff out there. This was the lowest Memorial Day box office weekend since 1999. Pirates still made $78.5 million, yet Baywatch tanked at $23 million, and it doesn't look good from there. Also in the news, Dwayne The Rock Johnson signed up to do the remake of the Wolfman for the Universal's Dark Universe. So we're going to have Tom Cruise as the Mummy and Dwayne The Rock Johnson as the Wolfman, and then they're all going to converge, and I have no idea. I think it was also leaked that Russell Crowe was going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, I mean, he's already in the Mummy. So, yeah. So, what?
I guess I just don't see it. I mean, I would have to see the movie, unfortunately, to figure out why he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I'm trying to figure out, are they going to add in Dracula in this whole mix? Because I feel as though they're going to rip that apart.
Oh, yeah, they're going to bring back Dracula, for sure. Even though the last Dracula movie, Dracula Untold, was unanimously hated. Like, nobody liked it. I mean, I didn't see it because I saw Hotel Transylvania, and I like that Dracula. So, Adam Sandler, you can be my Dracula any day. I mean, realistically, that's my Dark Universe already right there. You got Kevin James as the Mummy. You got David Spade as the Wolfman. Who needs The Rock when you got David Spade as the Wolfman, right?
Wow. I would say my Dark Universe would be Monster Squad, even though you've never seen it, which that's just blasphemy right there.
I mean, it just wasn't in my wheelhouse. I mean, growing up, it's not like something like, oh, I was born in 1992, so when I was getting back into those movies, like, I wasn't going to Blockbuster and picking up, like, Monster Squad and all this other stuff. I was picking up, like, Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons and Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons are amazing, by the way. But did you ever watch Goonies?
Nope. Never watched Goonies at all.
I think I figured out what's wrong with you, so that's probably why. I can pinpoint now what's wrong.
I don't know if there's anything really wrong with me if I didn't watch the Goonies. But yeah, I think we should also specify. I don't know what age range listens to us, but if there's any like smaller people out there that's way younger than us, a Blockbuster is a place that it's kind of like a Netflix, but it's a place that you would go to and pay a significant amount of money to rent movies. If you had a blue cover, it was like $5, and if you had a red cover, you only had 2 days to watch it, and it was significantly higher. So
it's kind of like how you have the red box, but it's actually like a storefront for it, and you're not paying like $1 for it or per day. And plus it had like snacks and things like that, and I don't know, it was nice to rent from Blockbuster. I think I actually started renting from them towards the tail end, and then yeah.
I would say some of my favorite memories is going to Blockbuster on the weekends. Like Friday night, there was a Blockbuster. So where my mom worked and where my grandparents lived, where I lived with my grandparents, we would drive down the road and there was a Blockbuster on the way home. So when we didn't know what to do, we would just be like, oh, let's just go to Blockbuster. And I mean, it's a huge ordeal at that point because then you're calling everybody at the other house, like, oh, we're gonna go to Blockbuster. Is there anything you want to see? Was there anything you wanted to see? Like, what kind of movie interest are you in? Like, are you in the mood for a romantic comedy? Like, we know Grandpa doesn't like this, so we'll pick him up this movie, but then we'll watch this movie. Like, it was a huge hassle. Like, it's not like just picking a Netflix show, but yeah, it was so much fun just to go there. You can see all, like, I used to look at all, like, the Nickelodeon cartoons, and you would, like, go. So it was like a Blockbuster. Again, I'm just going to diagram what the Blockbuster was. The Blockbuster is like a grocery store. And so you had all the inside movies that were older, and then the outside ring was always the newer movies. So you would walk on the outside, and you would be like, oh, yeah, this guy has a new movie. Oh, it's 2 days. And then you would go inside, and it would just be a plethora of just, like, garbage that you could just, like, pick from. And you'd be like, oh, I have a week to watch Donnie Darko or whatever. It's like, oh, that's great. But I would always go to the kids section. I don't know how my mom and my grandparents let me, like, rent kids shows as a kid, because, like, thinking of, like, $3 to $5 for a disc to watch, like, on a kids movie, like, I would be like, we can watch something that the whole family can watch. But I mean, just think about it though. Like, when you're, like, watching Netflix and it takes you an hour to find, like, something of 10,000 things, think about when you're at an actual video store, and then you have to think of everybody else that is going to be watching this movie. It's not just you. So there's been plenty of times where we've been in a Blockbuster for an hour looking for one movie, and we're not ready to, like, give up that $5 just to watch this movie. It's like, oh, what about this movie? And you're just legit, you're judging by the cover of the movie. And then you open it, you look in the back, and you have to read, like, oh, what's it about? Then you start reading the back of the disc, and then you have to, oh, well, who's in it? Like, that's like, you have tiers on what you would do. So I loved going there. It was so much fun. It's, like, up there with, like, going to Best Buy and buying, like, movies. I'm sorry. I'm, like, all my fond memories are, like, around movies, and it sounds really sad now that I'm talking about it.
I was gonna say, I didn't go to Blockbuster that often because my friends would always get it and, like, this is what I got and just deal with it. But I have to say that I did rent a few video games there, and that was one of the best, that you can rent video games, which is what Redbox does. Which I think there's, like, GameFly or whatever you can do online. But I think one of the best things, like, half of my movie collection was from the sale that they did for Blockbuster. You just go in, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst movie ever. It's $1. I'm buying it. And then they were doing, like, the entire, like, movie racks you can buy for dirt cheap. Me and my friends were obsessed with it. The title cards. So you can get, I think, like 50 or 100 for, like, $2 or something like that. I have a huge stacks in my room because I'm like, if I ever meet this person, I don't know why I would have this on me. They have to sign it. So if we ever went to Comic-Con, we would get all the ones that were like, okay, this movie's going to be there, this movie, so get that title card. If we see them, they can sign it. So that was one of my favorite, because we would hop to every Blockbuster that was closing, and we would go back week after week after week. Like, for payday, I'm like, let's go to Blockbuster, it's closing. And I think we hit up all the ones, like, around our area, and then if we saw one, if we were traveling out of state, we're like, are you closing? Yes. And then we would go ahead and, like, blow, like, $50 on all these DVDs.
So as these people were just, like, slowly losing their jobs, you were like, are you closing and getting unemployed? Yes, thank you, gosh.
I'm just saying, it was granted, it was a sad situation for them, but they were making very happy moments for me. Thank you for my movie collection, by the way, my horrible movie collection.
Oh yeah, no, I almost feel upset a little bit, because as towards the middle of Blockbuster, they used to have it where you would have only the DVD, like the actual DVD cover, on the just the display case in front of all the things, and then they would have the red or the blue that said Blockbuster and then the name, like, typed from a typewriter on the thing. And towards the end they switched to everything had their own cover, like the movie cover. So when they were selling all the movies, and they had different ones for different tiers, so there was like 5 for $25 or 5 for $20. And I just went in there and I would like, because when I used to grow up, like they had the thick VHS Blockbuster ones, and you would find them in every room. If you want to watch a Road Trip with Stifler, the guy who played Stifler, Sean William Scott, and the other guy that did Robot Chicken. Oh my goodness, that one guy in the comments is gonna roast us because we don't know what we're talking about.
He's gonna yell at us to do our research again.
Yeah, he's not banging us. He just wants us to just know that we're researching, right? But yeah, I'm going to look up Road Trip real quick. But if you watch Road Trip...
You're not talking about Seth Green.
No, definitely not Seth Green.
Other dude.
Yeah, Wow, not Tom Green either. Because he's in that movie. Brooklyn Meyer. Yes. That's it. Yeah. He makes a video. So in the beginning, he's in a long-distance relationship, right? And so he makes video messages back in the day when you couldn't just video chat and Snapchat and all those other chats. He would make a video message to his girlfriend, and then he would send it. Well, there was Amy Smart comes in, and they fool around and stuff, and she tapes it. And then he sends off the videotape, not knowing which one it is. And so when he got back, he like fumbles through trying to find the videotape. And he like knocks down the lower level of his bookshelf. And it's just all Blockbuster VHSs in there. But yeah, no, I was very upset. But most of my DVD collections are from the 5 for $25 or 5 for $20 deal. And growing up, my friend had when Blockbusters were going down, he bought this giant cutout of Denzel Washington he was in a Marine movie. He was dressed up like a Navy SEAL. Oh my goodness. Now I gotta look up Denzel Washington. I'm sorry, I didn't do this. This was a freestyle. I didn't think we'd be talking about Blockbuster and all these great movies. Navy movie, yeah, Denzel Washington Navy movie. Antoine Fisher? That doesn't seem right. I don't care. But he's dressed up like a Marine. And, Navy. He was Navy, not Marine. He was a naval. Yeah, I know.
I apologize out there for that mistake. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm I'm sorry. Thank you for your service. But I do not know who's who. I'm sorry. I just know that everybody is fighting for my freedom, and I appreciate everybody. But yeah, from 2 people that listen to this.
I would say one would be including your mom, but your mom only listens to the first 2 podcasts.
Hey, maybe one day she'll listen to more. But he had this giant cardboard cutout from Blockbuster. I'm like, why do you have this? And he was just like, just to have it. I was like, are you going to hang it up? He's like, no. Like, it was just always there in the room. I'm like, why do you have this? But then I'm like, I really want a cardboard cutout. But I mean, can I just say that there's movies that I haven't seen, but I know distinctively from the cover of their movie just because I walked past it like 50 billion times in Blockbuster. Like, people don't realize that's the thing you did. That's what I did on the weekends. Either Friday night, you go to Blockbuster and it's jamming, or you wake up late, you play video games or whatever, and then your mom's like, what do you want to do? And it's just like, I don't know. You want to go Blockbuster? It's like, fine. And then you just go to Blockbuster, which was right next to a Miami Subs, RIP Miami Subs. And then you walk in there and you're just like, what are we going to get? And it's like, I don't know. And you spend like 2 hours just walking around, not knowing what to do. And then you walk away with like 2 movies and one of them sucked. And then you're just like, all right, well, that was a whole evening.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like how long and how a huge decision this was. Like this is monumental for your night to or day or whatever to be amazing. See, again, I didn't really go to Blockbuster. I would say I was very very spoiled. Like if I saw a DVD that I wanted, my dad's like, okay, we'll buy. Like he'll buy like 3 at a time, and then that was it.
I feel like I would have bought more DVDs, but the Blockbuster was so close to my house. And there was also the best barbecue place that I've ever been to, and I still has ever been to, was right next door. So it was like, oh, we'll get dinner from PA Grill. Shout out to PA Grill. Back in West Palm. Shout out. And then Blockbuster was right in the same area. So it was just like, oh, okay, we'll go to Blockbuster. We'll call it in. We'll go to Blockbuster, look around, and then we'll pick up movies and then grab ribs and then bring it back. And it was monumental. It wasn't like Netflix nowadays where you just pick a movie, it sucked, you turn it off, you paid $5 to $7 to buy this one movie, you're watching all of it, no matter what, and then it's like, I have to watch it again. If I paid $5 for it, I'm either watching it once or I'm watching it a lot. And if you could watch it more than once, I've done that a lot where it was, we'd watch it once because my grandfather used to go to bed like super early. Like he would go to bed at 5 or 6 at night so he could wake up at 3 in the morning to go to his job. Yeah, he would go to sleep at 5. That's where I always learned to be quiet after 5. I always used to stay in my room. So 5 to 3 he would sleep, and then he would wake up, go to his job, work, and then he would just be back home at noon. And then that was his day. He was just like, cool, I'm just walking around. And he would do yard work all the time. I was like, this is legit. This is a legit job. But because he always went to bed early, we would stay up, watch the movie, and then the next day we'd give him like a small review and be like, you know, you want to watch it? And he'd be like, I don't know if I want to watch it. And it's like, we'll watch it again. We'll watch it again. So I used to watch movies like 2 times in less than 24 hours. Depending on what it was, or I'd just go in my room and just watch cartoons all the time. I don't know. But I do remember them playing, letting you rent games and stuff. There was one time I got into Pokemon, like heavily into Pokemon. And this is what, back in the day before they stopped giving GameCube games, Game Boy games. Because they used to do Game Boy games and all those. What? Yeah, they used to do Game Boy games. And, my dad would take me, and I don't know why I didn't just buy the game. My dad would take me to Blockbuster, and I would rent Pokemon Yellow week after week, and he would be like, okay, you have to drop it through the thing, and then we'll go back in and we'll rent it. And I'm like, why don't we, like, thinking about it now, I was like so happy about it, but I was like, why didn't we just buy it? But I would get it, but one kid, I won't ever forget. We didn't rent it right after again, and I went back and I was like, oh, I really want to play Pokemon Yellow, and I got it. I turned it on and I played through a lot of it, and then I turned it off. Like I saved it and I turned it off. I turned it back on. It would restart every time. Some kid jammed a pencil in the back of it, and like there's this huge pencil mark, and I was like, well, this sucks. And I think that's where people. Like Blockbuster was like, all right, we need to get rid of Game Boy games. They're not pulling anything in. But yeah, that was legit. I don't know. That was good stuff. That was good times.
Yeah, and then that's when Netflix started, when they were doing the send to home DVDs and all that. And then you can actually get it online and all that. And then that was the demise of Blockbuster.
And I read an article that said it didn't take off until they got the online stuff, because even sending the DVDs at home, people were still like, I'd just rather go to Blockbuster and get it. Like it's on, like I said, it was on the way home. It's still convenient enough. Like just to get the DVD sent to home, you have to go online, choose your DVDs, wait for it, and then you're waiting for your queue. You can't just go in there and be like, I want to pick this. I want to pick this up. Like, but it wasn't until you got. It wasn't until you got the online stuff to where people were like, oh, I can do this. And even then, they had like old-timey, like, they didn't have anything like it is now. Like, they didn't have Doctor Strange and newer movies like that. It was like it was like old time stuff. Like I remember like old posters, and I was just like, oh, why am I watching Netflix? Like I wish. I will say though, I do miss Blockbuster just for the sole fact of limitations. Like I've been on Hulu, Netflix, and even just the internet looking for movies to watch, and there's so many things to pick from. And then I just remember, like, I've sat there sometimes just like, should I watch this? I don't know. There's something else I should watch. And then I'm like, if this was Blockbuster, I would have like maybe like 100 and something choices, and it could be easier like to like narrow it down. Here, I'm like, I have the world at my fingertips, and I've been sitting here looking at covers for like 2 hours, figuring out whether I want to do this or that. I'm like, I don't know.
I will say though, I think if you took too long of a time, I remember I always had like a Blockbuster person come up to me, and then they would suggest things to me, and I just felt like the Blockbuster people were such know-it-alls, but I wanted to be them, and I wanted to work there, and it was one of the hardest jobs to try to get for some reason, because I applied twice, got denied. I don't know why, but I applied to other ones and still got denied. So I don't know if it's just people stayed there for so long and it was like an easy job. Granted, I dodged that bullet, but still, I don't know. They were like know-it-alls they were walking IMDb's. That's what they were. And if you didn't know something, they were like, why don't you know this?
What Blockbuster were you going that was nice enough to come talk to you? My Blockbuster, they never even walked out of their little like guard gate at the front. They were just like, this is where we do it. We never leave this place. And they were like, and then the nerve wracking of like going up and being like, do you have this movie? Like, there's none over there. And they're just like, is there any over there? And it's like, no, then we don't have it. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm not watching the one movie I came for. I'm going to pick 5 duds and then just rewatch them. Is Little Nicky good?
I think maybe either they thought I was like maybe trying to like take the DVDs, even though there's a metal detector there, or I don't know why they would come up to me, but they would come up to me.
It feels like it would be something to do for like customer service that my mind could do. I just know that West Palm is just known for not having the best customer service. Like my mom and I would constantly go either to Jacksonville, or when my aunt moved to St. Augustine, we would visit them, and everybody was so much nicer, like at the Publix's or at McDonald's or something. They're saying thank you. I remember we both looked at each other and we're like, they say thank you here? Like normally they just give us food and then just walk off like we don't exist anymore.
Okay, I'm probably going to get hate about this, but it's probably because it's South Florida. And it feels like once you cross like a certain city within like the middle of like Florida and then you go down south, just rude people. I've never had a good experience in South Florida. And I still go down there for concerts for whatever reason. I've had a fight because of being down there in Miami. So I cannot. But again, if there's a concert there, I have to go. I have no choice. And then no matter what I'm wearing, I feel like I'm sweating from every pore because of how freaking hot it is down there. And that's another thing that I hate about that place. But sorry.
No, that's fine. I lived there for majority of my life still. And yeah, it's not the best place. I mean, I have my memories of it, but it's definitely not the same place now that I've moved away from it. But yeah, no, I just miss Blockbuster so much. Did you go to the other one that wasn't Blockbuster, just another movie rental place? I think it was called Hollywood Videos or something.
Yes. I have not been to that one. I can't go to that one anyways. But yeah, I remember that one. I think weren't those the ones that they just decided to close anyways because there's no competition with Blockbuster? And they were kind of bobo compared to them.
Yeah, we went there once. I think Blockbuster didn't have a DVD, or there was like too many people there. So we went over to a Hollywood Videos, and it was significantly trash. Like, it was just a dumpster fire. And we were like, why did we do this? Like, this stinks. Like, I'd rather just go to Blockbuster and be disappointed by not getting the DVD I wanted and getting something completely different. But, I mean, Blockbuster is like a major catalyst for me in watching movies that I wouldn't never watch because we had to watch it as a family, or taking a chance on movies just because of the cover of the DVD. I didn't know anything going into it, and then, I mean, it's also the place where I fell in love with Clerks at a very young, impressionable age that I probably should have not been watching Clerks. But thanks to my friend Thomas and showing me Clerks the cartoon, my Blockbuster, when you walked in, they had I was like, oh, I really want to watch Clerks the cartoon, which you can't find anywhere at the time. Like, I didn't go to Blockbuster. I didn't go to Best Buy to buy them because they were still like $20 or something. I don't want $20. I'm a kid. We tried the allowance thing, didn't work. So we just never had it. Well, there's been times where we tried the allowance thing, then things got a little muddy, and then it got to a point where I was such a good kid and I never asked for anything. So when I did was really interested in something, my mom would go out of her way to like help me get, like, just pay for it and get it. So I wasn't one of these kids that just needed everything, but when I did get into something, she was like, okay, I'll get it for you. So it was kind of like, oh, I don't have money, but then again, I do have the option of getting something. But the Blockbuster I always went to, they had Clerks the cartoon as the cover over Clerks the movie. So it's very deceptive when I'm a kid and I go, oh, I want to watch Clerks the cartoon. It was viewed on ABC, on just ABC, normal cable show at like a prime spot at like 8 or 8:30 or 9 or whatever. So like very clean cut to a point, and it's cartoons, so it's like whatever. And I watched it like 40 times before that, so I knew what it was. So I was like, oh, it's behind the Clerks the cartoon. I got it. I'm going to go rent it. I just told my mom, hey, this is Clerks the cartoon. I've watched it 40 times. She's like, okay, cool. So late at night, that night, I put it on, and I was like, why is it black and white? And why are there real people? Why is he saying the F word so many times? And I just remember watching it as a kid, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I watching?
Wait, like, how old were you exactly?
I don't necessarily remember. I just know the movie came out in, 92? I think 92 or 94 or 91. Oh, we don't know facts anymore. I don't know. I'm such a big fan of Clerks, but I don't remember when Clerks 1 came out. But I think it was 90, just tell me, Google. Oh, it won't even come. 94. I was right, 94. Came out in 94, so I was already 2 years old when it came out. So then, I don't know. It was way after that. It was like in the 2000s. I was going to say, It was in the 2000s. I want to say it was 2000. It was something in the 2000s. I was very impressionable. I was like maybe 10. Maybe 10. And I was going to a private Christian school. Grew up in that school from kindergarten on, and watching that movie was just like, what am I watching? It wasn't good.
I was like, you learned about snowballing at a very, very early age.
Yeah, and it's something that I can't take back, but as you grow up, like I've grown up with the movie now. Like I saw it at a weird age, and then like you watch it like here and there, and then you learn more things as you watch it. But it's like still, Clerks the cartoon is like one of the best cartoons I've ever seen. Shout out to you, Kevin Smith. And it only aired 2 episodes, but it had 6 on the DVD. Yeah, it's just Blockbuster was just the thing back in the day. You just watch movies that you wouldn't normally watch. It's a family ordeal, and now we don't even sit in the same room together. Or we sit in the same room and we're in different mind rooms. That's right, mind rooms. I'm gonna get really deep and philosophical on this. We're in different mind rooms. Like, oh, I almost spilled my water. Because I'm like watching my iPad as my uncle is falling asleep to Cops, and then my mom's on Twitter. So it's like there's so many different things. Whereas back in the day, you would put in your DVD or VHS from Blockbuster and you just sit there and watch that movie. No matter if it's Rocky and Bullwinkle or Welcome to Mooseport. I remember that DVD from Blockbuster.
Wait, say that title one more time.
Welcome to Mooseport.
Okay. Totally did not. Yeah. Thought you said something else.
Yeah, I didn't say that, gutter brain. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm going on a rant about how great Blockbuster was as it failed as a business. Like a 10-year-old me was like, this could never fail. Put all my money into this. Like,
well, didn't they? Well, I mean, they had a really good run, but didn't they also try to do kind of copy what Netflix was doing, was to send to home? But then after that, they just like, well, we can't do anything past that point. So, I mean, again, it was a good franchise for the time frame. It just technology overshadowed it.
the problem with it is that they try to innovate too late. Like Netflix already had, like Blockbuster, if it could have got a hold of that internet and the Netflix model, like they already had like ties with the movie stuff because they had new movies all around them. If they could have just gotten the streaming technology and gotten to the home thing already, like it would have been the bomb. Like it would have been a totally different thing. We could have not been talking about Netflix right now and just been like, oh, remember when Blockbuster used to be a physical place? Now it's just an app on your iPad. Like it was this close. Like it was powerhouse and then monopolizing for what it was. And then it could have just been, it was like this close from, it could have been more, but somebody else thought of Netflix before Blockbuster could catch up.
Plus, they have a better name because, I mean, Blockbuster, Netflix. I mean, come on.
But think about it. When you say summer Blockbuster, that's what you're thinking. Like, Netflix is just like, oh, internet movies. Oh, man, I did not mean for that to come out so, like... Just know Netflix. I'm going to be real with you. It's not you. It's me. I grew up with Blockbuster. This is like fond memories. Like now, but now kids nowadays can go to Netflix and be like, oh, I remember seeing this movie title and I clicked on it and I watched it and wow, that sounds really worse. I don't know.
That just sounds so lazy compared to what the struggles that we had. And then now I feel old for saying that, the struggles that we had of going to Blockbuster to actually getting a tape versus older generations were like, well, we just had to suck it up, just go to the movie theater and that's it.
Yeah, I remember back in my day, I used to walk 15 miles to the nearest Blockbuster just so I could just put in that rental before those late fees came in because that was the worst. You know you can't rent anymore here. You got to pay your late fees first, and then we'll allow you to go walk around the movie theater. But yeah, it was such a big deal about the late fees that I remember when they gave us all like comps because they had late fees and they made us pay a lot of money for late fees, and I guess a lot of people did not like it, or it was towards the end of Blockbuster where people were like, they were giving out so many comps. So we had like free movie rentals because we had late fees and they were like, oh, we can't really technically like put these on you. Like we have to, I'm so sorry we charged you a late fee for not bringing in that movie on time. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is great. But
I mean, I completely understand the late fees because just like, I mean, with the library, with books and all that, if you don't charge someone or get into their mind they have to return it by that date, they're not going to return it at all. I mean, which I think I still owe money on a book for like 5 years ago, now that I think about it. But, I mean, I don't know. I was never late on mine because I always watched it as soon as I got home and then I was good when I did rent. But, I mean, how much did they charge, or do you remember back then?
nope. I don't remember anything as the late thing. But I don't remember anything about the late charges just because I was a kid and I'd never used my own money. So it was just like, I just remember it was like, I just remember when they had to print the date to return it by on the receipt because people were forgetting when they got the DVD. So they'd be like, oh my gosh, how long has it been since we had this thing? When does it go back? And you just be like, I don't know. I got it someday. Like, I don't know. Like, so I just remember they started doing that because everybody was just like forgetting about it. I can't wait till all the SEO from all this Blockbuster talk, like, really just brings in all the viewers. Like, oh man, I can't wait till tens of million people are looking up Blockbuster on the internet. And then they come to us.
Well, I mean, hopefully we get a higher score, more people listening to this. Maybe nostalgia versus our other videos was just more like, we were talking about stuff that's happening now.
Hold on, I'll save it right now. If Wonder Woman comes out, it'll be a 2-day rental, and it'll be $7 to get. And you only had 2 days to watch it.
I have to say, I love your segues. They're best. I always wait for it. I'm like, when is he going to do it?
That wasn't necessarily a segue. I'm not going to talk about Wonder Woman. Go see it if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. Heard it's good. Got 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. One of our coworkers already saw it. I think.
Who?
I think Dion saw it. I don't know. He had a complimentary Wonder Woman comic book and he gave it to Joey. So I feel like I asked Joey if he saw it and he said yeah, he saw it. So. And he said it was good, so go see it. I'm all for it. If you want to see me talking about it more, you can watch Intermission on Visual Recreation. That's Visual Recreation on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not going to inflect my voice because I'm just like, what? Yeah, sure. Gosh, I love Blockbuster. But so many bad movies are rented on those. Like, I used to, come on. Like, you go to there every week, you can't watch the same, like, not every movie you're going to pick is going to be like Titanic or anything good.
Now that all of a sudden I had a flash of a memory, I'm remembering that I pre-ordered movies from there, and I pre-ordered Titanic on VHS, and it came in 2 VHS cassettes. And then it sucked because I know exactly where it splits off. But you get like a limited edition like lanyard and everything. And I remember specifically that was from Blockbuster. You going out to like Target or whatever, and then getting, or Best Buy if they don't really sell DVDs anymore. Or actually no, that's CDs. But yeah, I remember I had to pre-order stuff from Blockbuster all the time, and I that was one of the fond memories of actually waiting there at midnight to get my pre-order right then and there for Titanic. I forgot what other movies, but that was the one that I remember the most because I used to watch it over and over again, and I think I messed up the first tape.
That's fantastic. I wonder how many DVDs they got that weren't the movie that was supposed to be in the case. Because I almost did that one time. Like, there was one time where I accidentally switched the disc because I thought it was in the DVD player, and I switched it out for something. I don't know. Just random, like, if they called them and was just like, hey, this is not Herbie Fully Loaded. This is some other movie that's way better because Herbie Fully Loaded is not good. Speaking of not good movies, we were talking before we were about to do it. We were talking about Troll 2. Oh my gosh. Leilani has not seen Troll 2 whatsoever, which I'm very disappointed.
And personally, I don't care because you have not seen a lot of classics like Superman, now Goonies that I know, and Monster Squad. Just saying.
I don't know how you can even put those 3 in the cast of the legend that is known as Troll 2. Troll 2 has currently a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. It had a 0% until it got a cult following, and then it now is known as the best worst movie. Just to hear a little bit of trivia. Have you seen it?
No, but I've seen the first Troll because my friend's mom thought it was to do with actual, like, the troll dolls because my friend was obsessed with it, so she rented it and popped it in for a slumber party. Yeah, I was not expecting any of that.
Yeah, so, yeah, Troll 2 has nothing to do with Troll 1, just for everybody that knows it. So here's a little trivia from IMDb that's all true right now. The first one is, the entire cast went to a casting call hoping to be extras and ended up in the lead roles. Director Claudio Fragrasso and his wife Rosella, I don't need to say their real names, who only spoke Italian, wrote the screenplay in very poor English. On set, the actors suggested they ad-lib their lines to make the dialogue seem better. Fragrasso forbade them. All of the lines had to be read as written. So when you listen to it, the actors are saying things in weird cadences, and it's fantastic. I love it so much. This movie is one of the best things ever in the movie, and I feel like everyone needs to watch it at least some point in their lives. It's so bad, it's so good how bad it is. Like, and it's not one of those things where it's like bad because they were like trying to make it bad. It was bad because they were everybody was trying their hardest to be good, and it was just nothing was going their way. Oh, and this whole movie is a motif on how is all about vegetarians and how I think it was how good they are. I don't know. I didn't do any research, as you could tell. I just remember watching this movie 3 times in a row, showing people about it, and it is so terrible. I love it so much, though. The lead guy is a dentist. Not in the film. He's just an actual dentist that was an actor for this. But yeah, it's so fantastic. This is such a good movie. I think you would know the one line. It has the longest, it has the record for the longest, oh my God, moment. Have you not, oh my gosh. It's going to seem really bad on the mics just because I'm going to be, because I'm going to actually play this. But this is fantastic. So it's 22 seconds. Yeah, here it goes. This is it.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my
God! Wow.
Super anticlimactic, but yeah. That guy, I mean, Troll 2 is just, oh my goodness, what are we doing talking about it? Like, we should be watching it right now. We should do a live, like, commentary on how good this movie is.
I mean, we could, but then I don't know if I could handle that at all.
That is true. I don't know if, like, oh my goodness, MGM produced this. Wow. I'm learning so much tonight. First, Colin Trevorrow, and now MGM making Troll 2. I thought it was just like some weird thing.
You have to explain the first part that you just found out.
All right. I'll explain it real quick. So there's this YouTube video that I found, me and my friend found summers ago, like long time ago. I used to work at my school as the IT person during the summer with my friend because his dad was the dean of students. So he would just hire us, and then we would just so we would really goof off and play Xbox all day and do like really like we would do like not really work, and we would play Xbox and watch YouTube videos for like majority of the summer. And then we would always screw something up because we were doing that. And then it would be a mad dash in the last 3 weeks to try to undo what all we did and then to redo it well. And then, yeah. It was really good fun. And so there was one time where we looked up a phrase on YouTube, and this 9-minute video came up called Home Base. And we were like, what is this? Like, we'll watch it after lunch. And so we went to lunch, we came back, and we like turned off all the lights, we watched it. And we were like, oh, if it's really bad, we'll watch it, and then we'll turn it off. And, I mean, just the first scene is fantastic.
Why did you turn off all the lights? I have questions about this.
Well, you saw the quality. It wasn't good. Like, it's 144, and it was making it more cinematic. We had a projector in the room, so we were in the computer room at the time, and so we just had a projector. So we just projected it on this like wall. So we turned off all the lights while we were quote unquote doing work, and then we watched the video. And oh my gosh, just the beginning. So basically, it's a story. I don't know if I want to say anything because I might give it. Like, I don't want to give it up. Like, if one of our 6 viewers want to watch this video, I don't want to ruin it. I don't know. Should I just say what the thing is about or no?
I mean, maybe you could do a quick basis, and then we'll put the link somewhere so people can watch it.
All right, that's fine. So basically, it's about this. It starts off with this woman and this guy. They're dating. They've been dating for a while. She's telling him at a lunch that she cheated on him with his boss, and that they're going to go to Cancun. And the guy is like calm, cool, and collected. And then he has a plan at getting back at her. And I know that sounds super vague, but that's only like a minute and a half into this video. And I'll tell you right now, even push through the bad quality, it's only in 144p. I watched it. It's fantastic. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just, I think it's the most complete YouTube video I've ever seen in my life, and it has some of my favorite moments. But it is fantastic. Come to find out, I showed Leilani just before this podcast the video, and I decided to read the comments for the first time ever, and one of the comments was. So the people at Universal saw this video and was like, yeah, I want that guy to direct Jurassic World. And I was like, I don't even know who directed Home Base. So I got his name. I looked up Jurassic World, and it is the same guy. You won't believe that this guy directed Jurassic World that directed Home Base. Like, you will not even think, like, oh my gosh. And I'll tell you right now, Colin Trevorrow, who directed Jurassic World and Home Base, which I will say Home Base is way better because you could watch it 80 times in the span of trying to watch Jurassic World. And he wrote and directed this, and it's just so beautiful. And I think one of the comments said he's also directing Star Wars 9. So, if you want a little sneak peek at what Star Wars 9 could be about, go ahead and hop over to YouTube. And I don't even know if you would hit Home Base. Like, I don't even know what it would say.
I just love the fact that actually in his IMDb, it mentions it, that it's right there, and it's for his digital short, that is one of the earliest like viral successes on the internet.
Yeah, I clicked in Home Base, and it went. I don't know if it's because it knows my preferences. Wait.
So what did you do? Just type in Home Base in IMDb, or?
Yeah, I just clicked. No, in YouTube. I went to YouTube. I clicked Home Base. I found 2 video versions. One's 908, and one is 831. And it looks like this one has the same thing.
Nope, I type in Home Base, and Home Base is the very, very first video because it only has 31,000 views. That's it.
Yeah, for the one I showed you that I have saved in my favorites from forever ago, and then there's another Home Base that has 53,000 views, and right underneath it, and it's only 832. So I don't know what all the extra, what chunk? Like, that's a big chunk to take out. Like, I don't know what, but it's in 240p. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, go watch Home Base, but make sure to watch it from Joe Blazed YouTube channel, and make sure it's the 908 one. It's going to be in significantly lower quality, but it's the one I grew up with, and it's fantastic. But I couldn't believe it. Colin Trevorrow. And it all started with Home Base. Oh, man. All my energy is out.
I'm actually looking up the lead actor guy, and he's been in a lot of stuff.
Really? What's he been into?
Well, a lot of stuff has been canceled since then, but I mean, I'm trying to look on here. He has a lot of like just guest appearances, like CSI Miami. He was in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was a male employee though. And Charlie Gets Crippled. I think I know that one. He was Without a Trace for an episode. He was in Mad Men as Carlton Hansen, and he was in about 4 of those from 2007 to 2009. He made a guest reappearance. Life Unexpected, The Ringer TV series. He was in Backstrom. I think I've heard of that one, that TV series. Castle, he had a recurring appearance for a year. So, I mean, yeah, he still gets around.
I wonder how many auditions he went into and was like, here, let me show you my real acting chops. And he put on Home Base. And then that mailbox scene, like, solidified it for them. They were like, yes, Mad Men, you're here.
You have to send in like a short acting reel, and he just sends that certain part that you like, and that's how he got all his roles.
Oh, yeah. That's part of the video. That's just not me being weird. But yeah, do yourself a favor. Go watch Home Base. Maybe even go watch Jurassic World if you want, and be like, how did this guy do both of these? But it is fantastic. Even watch Troll 2, please. And try to drown your tears from how Blockbuster was just completely decimated by Netflix. But don't hold any grudges, because I still do.
I love the fact that we came into this podcast not knowing what to talk about and not thinking that we're going to have an hour's worth of content. But yet, for some reason, Blockbuster took up a good, 35 minutes more, or 35 minutes into it. So, good job.
Dang nabbit. I can't believe I can't hit the mute button off fast enough. I hit twice, guys. I heard it click twice and it didn't do anything. Anyways, I don't know how we got into Blockbuster. I really don't. I won't even try to question it, because I thought of having podcasts about Blockbuster so many times, because I've always been like, I want to talk about Blockbuster, but nobody's talking about Blockbuster. Why would they? It's been dead for years. So, there's actually still some that are up in places that are rural. So.
Say that word again?
Rural. It's all rural countries. Blockbusters. Let me just look this up. Locations, 2017. Whoa, stock price is a cent. You better get on that. It might jump up. Ceased operations in 2013. Yeah, parents were, wow, Dish Network had it, and Viacom. Too soon. Netflix is right underneath it, as people also search for Netflix, and it's like, oh, man, that's so bad. Whoa. Looking for new releases. Blockbuster is still alive on Dish Network. The magic of Blockbuster videos lives on with Dish. Blockbuster became a part of Dish in 2011, and while Blockbuster stores may be a thing of the past, you can still make it a Blockbuster night. trademark. Sign up for Dish and get access to thousands of new releases for the comfort of your home. Get it now or learn more about our on-demand offerings, most available 28 days earlier than rentals from Redbox. Get it now.
I actually found an article, granted this was back 4 years ago, in 2013, where it said that it, there's only 50 franchise locations that they were going to keep, like you said, in, see, now I can't even say the word because of you, locations, and most of them are in Alaska.
Yeah, on this Dish Blockbuster thing, it has fine Blockbuster store locations, and there's only 12 numbers that pop up. And there's Alaska, 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 1 Oregon, 2 Oregon, 3 Oregon, and then 2 Texas. Because Texas was the headquarters, and there's a lot of just like rural parts in Texas. I want to start off by saying, I just want to finish this off by saying that Blockbuster and Dish did not sponsor this video or this podcast at all. Just wanted to let everybody know that. Why would they? Blockbuster, you know what? Blockbuster, please sponsor us. I want to say at one point, just be like, oh, by the way, this is sponsored by Blockbuster. I want to say that so bad just because it's so like 1980.
We're going to jumpstart their franchise again by having them, sponsor our podcast.
You heard it here, folks. We're not inside training because we're not sponsored by Blockbuster yet. And make sure to get up on that stock because it's only a cent. But then again, it's not sponsored. I just want to throw that out there. We're not getting any money for this. I would love to, but I want some of that Blockbuster money. Back in the day, my 10-year-old self would be super excited. But yeah, so I just hit back to reality of no Blockbusters. And I'm 24 and I'm not going to Blockbuster anymore. Like back in the day, back in the heyday where phones had wires and dial-up internet. Like, man, those are the days.
I kind of want whoever's listening, which is the very, 2-3 people that do, I would love to hear other people's memories of Blockbuster, if they had, bad or good memories of it.
Yes, please. If you were one of those 1 to 6 people that listen to this, please leave it in the comment section below or hit us up on Instagram at Tell Me Rune or Twitter in 140. You know what? Don't get us on Twitter with your Blockbuster. We want all the juicy details of your Blockbuster movie rentals. You can DM us on at Tell Me Rune, but on Twitter, but everything else, we want to hear some good stuff because we just spouted off so much about. And I didn't even get to some of the good stories of Blockbuster. Like, there's some good stories that I didn't even talk about, which I'm glad I didn't because it's still early in my career in this, and I don't want to. That was it. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so wrap it up. Troll 2, go see it. Wonder Woman, go see it if you want. Blockbuster, miss you. You will live on in our hearts and Dish Network. And what else did we talk about? Home Base, go watch it. There's a lot of things I'm going to tell. I'm going to demand you to go watch Home Base, Wonder Woman if you want. Remember Blockbuster if you can.
Also, since usually Andrew spouts off movies that you should see, and every time I tell him to go see something, he never does, why don't you also put in, movies that he should watch as well in the comments? Or you can message us.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I'm just going to ignore you. But no, seriously, tell me, and I love movie recommendations. I love the recommendations. I don't know how to hold the recommendations. Also, The Mummy. We talked about that briefly. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, gonna be your Wolfman. Even though Benicio del Toro will always be my Wolfman. That was a good movie. Don't make that face. Yeah, that's it for us. Our show was going to be 30 minutes. Now it's an hour. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll be more prepared with research and topics next week. Maybe. Probably not. Let's talk more about Blockbuster. So next time, we will see you next week. Yep. Bye.